Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Game for the 9th of October. What are we, number 136 today? We've done a few of these by now. I have a couple of guests with me today. You would have seen some news going out online, whether intentional or not.
Today or yesterday.
There's been a few things. But today I've got Frederick and Yannick here with me. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
We're going to talk about all things episode 2, TU6, all of that. I do see we are aware that there have been a little bit of dropped frames on Restream. It seems to be pretty steady now, but if we do notice that that's an issue, we'll keep you posted, and we'll keep trying to make sure that we keep the stream up because there's a lot to talk about today. First, though, we're going to run through the priority alerts. What do you think, Yannick?
It's just like it feels so official.
I know, right?
It's like with that drop and everything.
Pretty cool. It is official, and I'm going to get to the things that we need to know first before we get into the discussion around Episode 2 and TU6, and we'll probably clarify a little bit more about what that means. There is no maintenance tomorrow on Thursday, so you can enjoy playing through that. There will be a maintenance on Monday, where the Explorers apparel event has been extended by a week. That's good news. Mm-hmm. We have added a third apparel project. Increased drop chance of apparel keys earned when gaining a field proficiency cache and leveling up.
That was this Monday. It's not next Monday.
Oh, it's not. Oh, this is this Monday.
Yeah, we just extended.
Yeah, we did that.
Thank you for being here.
So this is a reminder of what we did on Monday.
What would I do without you,
with
Yannick?
the maintenance.
There we go.
You see, you need me.
I do need you.
We're going to get more things right.
So that's both the field.
Maybe we have actually just one brain if
we have a
add up all
hive
three of us
mind
together.
But the field proficiency level up cache and the dark zone proficiency level up, the
Yes.
apparel key drop chance was increased on Monday.
Yep.
Yes.
Episode 2 release date was announced, like we said before. If you were paying attention to the internet yesterday, you would have caught that. We announced yesterday that TU6
Or
slash
if you've
episode
watched
2.
Taste of the Game last week.
Don't talk about it, man. wasn't me.
Just saying.
I'm not gonna throw shade
If
at
you
anyone.
paid attention last week.
I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus unless it's you.
Yeah.
Go live on October 15th, which is not far away. That's next week, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that's soon.
It is
nice.
already.
And we'll recap exactly what that means in terms of early access a little bit later in the show because people have questions about, when can I get what? Mm-hmm. Yes. Can we just go through all of the news that has come out in the past kind of 24 hours? I think people may have seen a trailer that came out an hour ago. We're going to show you that in a second. Actually, for the people who don't know who you are, just quickly, because there may be some new people here.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully. Who are you and what do you do?
Me first, yeah. So I'm Frederick. I'm one of the lead designers on the game. Do gun stuff, RPG stuff, gear sets, those type of things.
Cool.
And I'm Yannick, Associate Creative Director recently.
What?
So yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Really coming up in the world, Yannick.
Yeah.
You'll be able
Humble
to.
beginnings.
That means now I get to be blamed for every decision people disagree with.
Nice.
Cool. That's why I do not envy you. We have announced it, and I think now we can show the trailer just quickly, and I might have a look at Frederick's mic while we're doing that. All right, should we take a look at the trailer from an hour ago?
Yes.
Let's do it.
The Pentagon. 500 hours. The last castle is under siege. DARPA's experimental tech will be gone in hours. There is no time for a plan. No time to prepare. We hit today, or we lose this fight tomorrow. Time is running out.
Oof.
Sweet.
Time is running out,
Yes.
everyone. We've just adjusted Frederick's mic a little bit. It should be up a little bit, so we should be able to hear you.
Hopefully.
Now, saying that was a very cool trailer.
Looks
Super
good.
excited for it.
Yeah, I think we can hear you now. We're good.
Yeah.
So, can we just take a look at exactly everything in a nice image form of everything that's coming on the 15th next week. We have a pretty image to show you exactly what is going on there. So there's an intro.
Easy.
Yeah. There's an intro to the Pentagon stuff. You have
Yes.
2 main missions, Pentagon and the DARPA Research Lab. There's 2 classified assignments, exclusive for Year 1 pass holders. The new specialization, which we're going to show you later in the show, and if you're a Year 1 pass holder, you'll unlock that instantly. There's all of the stuff we've talked about in the past few weeks.
That
You've
we've
been
seen
on
on
here talking about
PTS
it.
and everything. Yeah.
I think that's even though it's not as colorful over there and the major improvements part of this image, that's huge for the game.
That's-
I think this is probably our biggest, most like transformative patch
Yes.
we've done
Yeah.
on the division, even including Division 1.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of
Yeah.
changes.
Exactly. So down in the bottom corner, it said 38 new brand gear items. So those brand slots that we didn't have before, there's now all filled
Yeah.
in. There's all the named items
Named
that we talked
items.
about.
Yeah.
There's like,
New exotic,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
yeah, I think like 1,000% more
Yes.
named items, which sounds hyperbolic, but is
Yeah.
actually about accurate.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
And there was also the team elimination game mode, which we tested on PTS, but there's also the new map, the WAF, which wasn't tested on the PTS.
All right. How much do you know about these new missions, Yannick?
I don't know.
Okay, not much. Okay.
From 1 to 10, or how,
Yeah.
do you want, how do you want me to rate that?
Oh, I thought you made these all yourself.
I know about them.
No, okay. So there's the intro mission, the Pentagon breach.
Yes.
That's going to unlock the whole Pentagon.
Yeah, it's basically you arrive as the division and you assault the Pentagon to try to break into it and establish a foothold from where then you
Yeah.
can then start your missions. So yeah, that's your first entry to the Pentagon, and then after that you have the first mission where it's about locating the bioreactor.
Let's take a look at that. We have a piece of art for that as well. So you'll discover the location of the perfusion bioreactor inside the
Yes.
inside the Pentagon.
Spoilers.
Yes.
I was really hoping, if you've been following Boston Dynamics like robot stuff recently, have you seen the gymnastics robot?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've also seen that you can actually buy their robots now.
Yes,
and
you can buy it.
I'm
What?
disappointed we don't have one in the studio
Yeah,
right
we should
now.
do that.
Right, we have to ask Paul Felt if we can
Yeah.
get a,
Yeah, I think so.
gymnastics robot.
Do you
Expensive.
think we could mocap it then for the
Yeah,
robot
sure.
dogs we have? That'd be nice.
But I mean, seriously though, it's super exciting to finally visit Pentagon. We kind of knew
Yeah.
when we picked the location of DC that Pentagon is one of those places where we want to go eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, with shade agents and all the technology they use, obviously this is going to be a really important kind of story beat for us.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the lore source for the new spec as well, the new specialization.
And the great thing with the Pentagon is also just that it's kind of a very mysterious space. So like it gives us a lot of freedom on exploring what actually would be inside and like what would it look like inside and what are the things that are hiding underneath and all this kind of stuff. So it gives us a lot of freedom to create actually some really cool stories and really cool environments.
Cool.
That's one of the things that make it really exciting.
All right, so there's also the other main mission, which is the DARPA Research Lab.
Mhm.
Quick,
Yes.
I'm going to put you both on the spot, even though you're not on the narrative team. What does DARPA stand for?
Don't know. Department of Defense Advanced Research something or other.
Chattel know.
Shadow know,
apricots,
and they'll tell us. But
rosemary.
You got nothing.
mostly though,
Potato.
like this is where they make all the new
Anchovies.
exciting inventions, right? That they use for the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
So all the new cool toys with weird abbreviations
Yeah.
that
Yes.
the
Yeah.
US makes.
Exactly. So, wait, did we show the image already? No. All right, I just didn't want to make sure that I missed it because we do
Yeah.
have an image for that. All of this content that we're talking about right now is that you can, is part of the episode 2 package, the narrative-based content especially, and that is coming on the 15th for people who have the Year 1 pass.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And then if you don't own the Year 1 pass, you'll still get access to it, but on the 22nd.
Right.
Yes, the narrative content that is.
The narrative
Yeah,
content.
yeah.
But all the
Pentagon.
TU6 content we can put in the bucket of balancing, quality of life changes, all that. That'll come further
Yeah.
on the 15th for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we even talk about those two different concepts, just to
Yeah.
make sure everybody knows what's for everyone at the same time and what's early access.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
cool.
the difference between title update and episode.
Perfect. Can we take a look at the DARPA Research Lab image? Ooh, it's so pretty.
It's cool.
Very cool.
good.
I, again, haven't played through any of these pieces myself,
Yeah.
so I don't exactly know what
Yeah.
to expect, but that excites
No.
me.
What's really cool with the DARPA Research Lab is especially when you get to go there, you should really explore and look at the environment because there's a lot of small elements as to what's the involvement of DARPA in the grand scheme of things that are really interesting.
want to give a huge shout out to Ubisoft Sofia, who have really spearheaded
Yes.
making the Pentagon and these new
Yeah,
missions.
they've done a
This
fantastic
is
job.
going to be
with it.
their like Pierce de Resistance in here.
No, I can't wait to play it, and that's pretty damn soon.
Yeah.
I actually hadn't
gonna be fun.
realized. I didn't sit down and think, oh, it's next week, but it's actually on the 15th is next week.
Yes.
You can instant unlock of the new specialization like we talked about before if you do have the Year 1 pass.
Yes.
There is exclusive access for the Year 1 pass holders. That is always attached to the Year 1 pass, correct? The classified assignments?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So if you want to play those,
Yeah, you get 2 new ones. Yeah.
all right. So there's the Marina supply route, so that's an Outcast thing. They've been moving weapons and supplies into a boathouse on the Potomac River.
Yes.
Ooh, cool. So this is like really going a little bit deeper down the narrative hole for people.
I mean, classified assignments are all about digging deeper into the lore.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really about the lore, and it's the cool thing with those is that we keep pushing the concept a bit with each new classified assignment. So these are actually really exciting. So this one and then the next one with the embassy is also really cool.
Do these ones still have the unique backpack trophies attached to them?
Yes,
Cool.
all of them.
I haven't seen those, and I don't have an image for them now.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
I've seen them at some point. I don't know which one exactly out of 2
Okay.
you're going to get there.
All right. And there's also the embassy crash site where a JTF helicopter.
Yes.
What is with helicopters crashing, Yannick?
You don't want to be in a helicopter in the Division universe.
If you want
It's
a
just
good
there.
Any
Clancy
Clancy-
story, it has to start with a helicopter crash. And I have to say, that trailer, the helicopter does not crash.
But it's not flown by any shade agents. That's why.
Nope.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of a Ubisoft meme at this point.
A little bit.
Far Cry 5
it's
has a
a
helicopter crash as well.
Breakpoint starts with a helicopter crash.
I'd say kudos to the helicopter pilot from the Boo, because that pilot never crashed.
He doesn't. That's good.
We should
Take-
actually
takes
just,
you-
at this point, make a helicopter piloting game.
There you go.
All right. So just quickly, so all players will get access to the TU6 health updates,
Yeah.
which we talked about before. So the gameplay improvements will be coming on the 15th for everyone.
Including the new loot and all of that stuff, right?
Exactly. So we're just going to run through those super quickly. So October 22nd, for people, these are for people who don't own the Year 1 pass. You'll get the Pentagon Breach side mission and the 2 main missions, the actual Pentagon and the DARPA Research Lab main missions on the 22nd if you don't have the pass. And on the 15th, let's just run through these really quickly. You will have access to the Technician Special Field Research to unlock that spec. So you'll still have access to it.
Yep.
There's the new exotic, Sawyer's knee pads. The KSG shotgun, which we showed
Yeah.
a picture of last time.
Last time,
A new loot targeting system. And I can show you this one as well. We have an image for that. We've shown this in video form before when we had Nikki
Talked
on.
about it, yeah.
But this is a nice zoomed out version of that.
Which is all about finding the stuff you need for your build.
Exactly. Really cool.
Can I just go back to the field research?
Please do.
Because I just really want to make it clear, because it's the first time that we're releasing a specialization at the same time as there's an early access and all of that. So I just really want to make it clear for everyone that the field research becomes available on the 15th. So when we say on the 15th, people that have the Year 1 pass get the specialization directly. People that don't have the pass, they can already start unlocking it. So you don't have to
Going
wait
through
until the
the
22nd.
research, yeah.
Just want to be clear about that.
Cool. So there's also the PvE and PvP balance changes coming to weapons. There's a new named items. There's 35-ish of those.
Yep.
So there's a lot. The updated inventory and recal UI, which we also have an image for. So can we just take a look at the inventory? Because the filtering system is something that's new.
Yeah.
And you actually pointed out something interesting in this earlier.
Right.
For
Yeah, we're in the view now where you can view all kinds of items. You can see both gloves and backpacks and everything. Like that's the new slot where you can go in. You can kind of sort it by newest if you just want to sort through all of your stuff. But the filtering here has been worked on since the PTS as well. And here you can just go, hey, show me everything with crit hit on it or skill haste on it or whatever, or a particular other stat.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just, I mean, it's gonna be so good. just saying that makes me want to go to my inventory and
Oh, exactly. All these quality of life
I mean,
improvements
it's
are
all
a
about
big
being
fan.
able
Yeah.
to sort through and do what you want
Yeah.
with your gear, right? So
Yeah, the crafting improvements to the material cap increase as well, so you'll be able to generally get more, hold more, and then also spending them's a little bit less punishing as well.
and all
on the
kinds of
crafting side
other
things.
UI improvements where you can mark things for donations and selling and stuff like that, so you can really sort through your gear.
More stash space.
Or stash
Yes.
space.
What do you know the actual number on stash space?
yeah,
Yannick?
it's doubled.
double.
So it's 300 now.
Cool.
And more loadouts as well.
And more loadouts. Yeah.
Double again.
Nice.
Also doubled.
We also mentioned last week that Kenley College is coming back, and we talked about the modifier and everything, so that will be available on the 15th, correct? You'll be
Yes.
able to get back in there. If you didn't have a chance to
Yep.
play it last time,
Yep.
all of the wings will open at the same time.
All
Yes.
3 wings, yes.
You'll have the new mastery system in there, and if you did miss out on the Diamondback, you can go ahead and grab it.
Yep.
Very cool.
With each character also.
Yes, so you could have 4 Diamondbacks.
Yep.
The normalization has been revamped, particularly in this applies to the Dark Zone, I would imagine.
Yeah, so essentially you're not going to lose out on all your recalibrations and all of that. So we're really not going in and normalizing all of your stats. We're really trying to keep your build, but just running the PvP version of talents and damage multipliers where we need them. So like scaling down damage to kind of balance it for players fighting players rather than 8 NPCs. So.
Nice. We're almost done with the recap, I promise, but just stay tuned because the first look at the technician specialization is coming up in just a second. And I want to get there really quickly because Yannick has to go at 1:30.
No, that's fine. It's been moved.
It's been moved. Okay, cool. We don't have to rush.
We'll get
To
a
6.
Yannick further.
All right, great. How close, you work very closely with the online team. How much do you know about the Dark Zone server transfer improvements and making sure that we have enough people in Dark Zones?
I mean, I have a lot of smart people explaining stuff like that to me, and then I just nod and say, okay, that sounds cool.
Okay.
But I mean, in general, it's just, the idea is just to try to make sure as much as possible that we're filling up the servers. So what that means is that there's going to be an actual, like, we say matchmaking, we create matchmaking, but it's not really matchmaking as in start a matchmaking and then there's a loading of things like that. It's just as soon as you step into a checkpoint, we're going to make sure that there is a Dark Zone server that is allocated for you that already has people, and if it doesn't, you might be transferred to another server where there's going to be people. So instead of sending you into the Dark Zone and leave you alone there because we wanted to make sure you didn't have any loading, now we'd rather make sure that you have a full Dark Zone, which means you may have a loading, but therefore you're always going to be in a Dark Zone that has a lot of people.
I mean, the net result should be that everybody's in more full Dark Zones.
Yeah.
And every once in a while when you go through the sluice or the gates, you'll see a brief loading screen and server transfer you to something that's full.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that there's some smart people in chat who may have found a spoiler. Friedrich, was
No.
there an LVOA full auto in the trailer?
No, there's not. That's a creative, that's someone creative in the video department. That
Okay,
made
so-
someone shoot really fast.
All right, so if it's in the trailer, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's...
There's no full auto LVOA, but we have plenty of exciting assault rifles outside of that, especially with a revamp now that more are viable.
Damn, these people, you can't get anything past these people.
I love it though.
They're so smart.
Yeah.
Well spotted.
Insert comment about trailer not representing the game.
All right. We will chase that one up. So supply drop changes in the DZ and the ODZ. We also have an image that we can show you for the updated Thieves Den vendor, because it was never a vendor in there.
It kind of like now it's a proper vendor with a weekly reset and good stuff there, like named items and gear set items and stuff like that you can go and buy for Dark Zone.
Let's take a look at
currency.
the an example of the Thieves Den vendor that we've got in here, because I think I actually spotted in this image a pretty nice one of the named items. So you see at the top, you've got the claws out holster.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. So there's a reason to go to these vendors now.
Absolutely, and you can kind of really have this weekly reset where you use all of the currency you build up in the Dark Zones and go improve your gear. And you can see the gear score here is consistently 500s.
Yeah.
Solid. I like that. There's also, we talked about, Redstorm talked about it when I wasn't here actually, the new team elimination mode and conflict. You've got the new conflict map, the Wharf.
Yep.
And we actually have a picture of that to set the scene for you. There's somewhere you can go and do your crab rave now. Pretty cool. Check it out.
Nice. Giant enemy crab.
Yeah. That would be cool if that was a boss.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The cool thing with that
Very on brand.
The cool thing with that map is that it's really fast-paced.
Okay.
It's really encouraging, quick engagements and everything. So it's really fun to play.
But we've talked about most of this in the last couple of State of the Games, and people have played it on PTS, etc. Right? So
Yeah, exactly. There's better flow for conflict. There's the rewards
the map.
have been
Love the map,
increased for playing conflict. We also talked about how we. You might know more about this.
Is that your
Yannick.
passive-aggressive way of telling me to stop making comments on things?
no. This is directly aggressive,
Well-
not passive aggressive. Yeah.
But you know how it was probably a couple of weeks ago now. There was some server configuration or some changes to, especially on the conflict servers. How did those go?
It's going pretty good. We're still running tests, and we're welcoming any kind of feedback. So we're still happy for any one of you that plays Conflict. Please let us know if it feels any different compared to before we implemented the change, which was about a couple of weeks ago.
Week and a half ago now.
This is all platforms, and yeah, we've made those changes. They're still running on the live game. We're still assessing the results. So far, it's encouraging. It doesn't fix everything, but it's making it better in many cases for people. So it's going to be, we're going to keep running tests to make sure that we're comfortable running it over on the whole game. Yeah, basically.
And of course, there's been hundreds and hundreds of bug fixes and all of the stuff that we've talked about over the past few weeks. You will have had all of those information if you want to go back and look at that. It's all there. There's also the thing we need to talk about that, if people have been paying attention, we haven't mentioned the raid yet.
Yeah.
Yannick, what can you tell us about the status of that whole thing?
Well, the TLDR of it is we're working on it.
Yeah.
The longer version is now we are very attached to the raid and to the second raid. We want to make sure that we make a very good one. We are very happy with how the first one turned out and how people got excited about it and all this world first race and even people still beating it now, trying to do speed runs and things like that.
So many completions. It was really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of completions, and of course now it's at the point where people are going bored with it because they know how to beat it. So it's important for us to have a second one, but it's important for us to have a second one that is good, that is even more challenging, more ambitious in terms of mechanics and all these kind of things. And these things take time. So basically, we want to take the time to make it good, to make it as good as the expectations would be, and that means it's not going to be ready for episode 2. It's not going to be ready before next year.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But we will make sure that as soon as we have any information that we can share on that we do so.
Definitely.
I mean, I'd love to make sure that we share as much information. Maybe an early look, a preview. I don't know. We'll get to that when we can. But I guess TLDR, good things take time.
We've had spoiler on the mechanics, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's some tricky data miners out there.
Yeah.
But that's where it's at for now. All right. We are now, even though Frederick's been joining in with us, we're going to move over to our segment that focuses on you, Frederick. We're going to go to our developer interview. Let's go. All right, cool, man. Now it's all.
It's not really
all
about
on
me.
you.
It's about this new spec.
No, it is.
That's the part where I just
Yeah.
sit and smile.
No,
Because I'm going to be on camera, but I'm not going to say anything.
But to be fair, if I had a more relevant, interstitial that we could have shown, it would have said, first look preview at the Technician, because we get to talk about it and show it for the very first time.
Kind of the one big gameplay thing that wasn't on PTS is this new spec. So, I mean, it's all tied to the fact that we're going to the Pentagon and that thematic. So it's high-tech, kind of a support spec. We wanted to lean into the fantasy of skills and high-tech stuff. So it's called the Technician. It features stuff like a new hive that buffs other skills. And it features a really nifty multi-missile rocket launcher.
Damn. That's very cool. We're going to show you some clips of the gameplay in just a... No, actually, can we go with the first one? I just want to show it. Like
We just said missile launcher, so come on.
Like we can't...
Let's show it now.
We can't hold it. So let's take a look at the first clip, because I'm super into this. Ooh. Okay. So what are we seeing here, Frederick?
So you see this new crosshair, and you get to mark enemies. You kind of see how it builds up little dots on each one. And then you got these swirling missiles that go out and kind of clear the room. Each one kind of capable of taking out a red bar. I think you're actually going to go ahead and shoot just the one at this red bar, just to show. And it's really a room clear. Up to 6 missiles. They can lock on to different enemies, or you can tag one enemy with multiple missiles. And it won't be your primary big boy targeting system where you take down big bosses, but it'll be the thing that you can target people that are standing far apart and clear a room.
Looks boring. Doesn't look fun at all.
I love it.
That was my follow-up question, though.
Yeah.
Because I see that. Is there a limit on to how many things can be targeted on one?
6. You can target all 6 of them on one.
But if we're 4 players in a group and we have 4 of
You
these
can all do that.
specializations, so you could hit someone with 24 rockets.
You could.
Interesting.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Big
And
kaboom.
Just saying.
And obviously, this is a little bit more leaning into kind of experimental fantasy stuff with like these swirling missiles and stuff. It doesn't quite look like this or work like this.
So you can be a mage or a cleric. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of if you go to old school RPG stuff, this is a little bit like shaman inspired in that it's like a support class that can go a little bit damage or a little bit healing, and we'll see that when we look at the tree later, right?
Very cool. Yeah. So the controller you may have noticed on the table.
Yeah, we're
just
going to do
take
it
us
live.
through
This is going to be big.
through that. So
Yep.
you have the rocket launcher. There's the P017 missile launcher. We've shown how it works. We don't really need to talk about it as much. What can you tell us about the tech hive?
So it's called a artificer hive. But
Really
you
hard
know,
to say.
We do call it the tech hive internally, so that's fine. Like everybody will use whatever name the community is comfortable with. But the idea is that it enhances other skills. So you place it on the ground, it'll send out these little mini drones, and they'll hit other friendly skills, even the ones belonging to your group mates. So you can kind of buff everybody's placed and in transit skills, even like Seeker Minds and whatnot. But the big thing here is also if you carry it on your back, it's active for your skills, even when it's on your back. So if you got that and maybe, let's say, a drone out, it's going to actually fly out and buff your drone. It's going to buff it, make it stronger, make it more damaging. It's going to repair it. It's going to refresh its duration. So it's going to stay out longer. So kind of really do the heavy lifting for the skill that you are not using in that slot by buffing your other skill instead.
That's really cool. Actually, we can show this as well.
Yep.
So the second clip I have, it actually shows the hive. Let's take a look at the second clip.
First,
Yeah.
now you can see he's tagging each enemy with multiple missiles.
So how does that work? Do you just hover over them again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes just a split second. So you can pull your cursor over or your aim over without tagging someone, just if you want to be tactical about who you pick. So it's quite easy to use. And this is throwing out the hive. And you'll see when the drone flies by that one of the little things comes out and hits it. It gives it a buff.
See the buff, yeah.
And you'll also notice when it comes back, exhausted, your little pet, kind of damaged, it'll hit it again now, I think, yep, and repair it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And you can imagine if you're playing 4 players in a group and you have a little, maybe, radius mod on this thing and stuff like that, that you can get really cool group support with this thing.
That's cool. All right, I think after this, we'll go and have a look through the skill tree. So if you just want to hit the button on there, we'll log you in.
Does the buff stack if you have multiple players?
No, it doesn't, but it can refresh it if it comes from multiple sources,
Yep.
right? So you can refresh
I love how
it.
you're live theory crafting. Like,
That's
what
good.
can we do?
How can I break it?
No, I'm really interested to see how players go with this one because I'm sure there's going to be
Yeah.
some crazy builds.
I mean, it's also kind of leaning into, we know that people would like to see more group synergy stuff. So this is really leaning into that support role.
All right, I'm being asked about the ecosystem hit sound effect. What is the sound
didn't-
effect you're talking
yeah.
about?
I don't even know what Ella means when she asks that question.
Well, all right.
It's chat asking. All right.
There might have been
Sorry, chat, we don't know.
all right,
what that
yeah,
means.
we're not sure. Maybe there was a sound effect when it hits stuff and it's echoing. I'm not
Let's
sure.
see.
There's never been a sound bug in the division, so probably not that.
Leaning into that meme. It's great.
Wow, no you didn't.
Well, okay, no, but so let's we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at some live gameplay. So this is a work in progress build, and you can see down the bottom.
I just want to point out how exciting it is to show a live build on State of the Game. And
Yeah, it's really cool.
So you
So
got
I like how those specs have 225.
this is in progress stuff. We've cheated to give ourselves
Yeah.
many points.
So disregard the numbers, but
Yeah,
let's
and filled out everything.
let's go through the tree. Where do
All
you
right.
want to start, Frederick?
I mean, let's start with the hive. So you got the hive over here, the Artificer hive, and some extra mods for it to give it more radius and better recovery rate. And that's actually one of the things. All hives in TU6 now work on charges. So like if they've used half their charges, you can actually go up to it and pick it up with the interact button and put it back on your backpack, and it'll keep whatever charges it has left. And this hive is no exception. So instead of working off a cooldown, it works off charges, similar to chem launcher.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we got that. Obviously, you saw a little bit of that. Down here, you have the kind of group protection talent of Faraday field. So whenever you place some skills down, like the turrets and stuff that you place on the ground, they form a little protective field where anybody standing close to them, it'll basically conduct shock and disruption to it instead of your teammates.
Yep.
So it kind of creates a little protective field.
Yeah, my first question for this was, it doesn't apply to movable skills. Like the drone isn't going to fly a field around and that sort of thing, right? So it's only for static
Right,
skills.
it's for the static skills.
All right.
There's a question in chat here if the hive buff can buff another hive, and it can. Yeah, so it'll give it better duration, better effects and stuff.
Cool.
I mean, you can only have one buff per skill on, so it won't like stack infinitely.
Okay.
And then you have this interesting node here where you basically get to pick whether you spec into damage on your skills or healing.
Okay.
Ah,
But you can only pick one, right?
Yeah, so you can only pick one in this subtree. We're kind of trying out to
have choices.
have a little bit more choices. We kind of did that in the last patch with the weapons, and now we're kind of using it in different places. I think that's kind of interesting to see where you want to go with the spec, so you don't get everything at the same time. And then various bonuses to skills and stuff like that. One of the big things that we changed in this patch for all of the specs is this.
Yeah, we
which
talked
is-
about this last week, right?
Yeah, which we're giving pulse resistance. And I think we have another video clip coming up where we can show that what you get is also the EMP grenade.
Yeah.
And the EMP grenade, causes disrupt and does some damage to robotic enemies. And if you're doing your invasion and your weeklies, you're going to want this for your
Yes.
Black Tusk enemies. But I suspect it will also be quite popular in PvP.
My first PvP related question to this, can the EMP grenade disable the skills that are in the Faraday field?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then the Faraday field is rendered.
I mean, I think no. The Faraday field is still active, but the skills
Okay.
go disrupted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So the skills don't die, they get disrupted.
it depends. If you've not invested in health on your skills, and someone throws an EMP grenade at them, and they're really weak, they might just die,
Okay.
pop out of existence.
Because the EMP is still dealing damage.
It still deals damage to anything technological.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about this spec because it's really leaning into that whole side of things, and we kind of needed to do the whole revamp of skills that we did with TU5.
Yeah.
And now we can bring this out and really lean into the fantasy of shade tech and all of these things, right? I think it's pretty goddamn cool.
Can we do the sidearm last? Because I actually want to show it. full
Yeah, we
screen.
can show that. I don't know if we have so much more to show. It's the same field here. You get a laser pointer that actually pulses targets when you aim at them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also kind of high-tech inspired. And then you got your signature weapon talent, which is all based off of destroying enemy robotics and skills. So even not just robots, but things like RC cars and RC blades and things like that. So whenever you kill enemy equipment, essentially,
Turrets also and this kind of thing.
turrets and stuff like that, you're going to increase the bar until ammo drops. So it kind of really gives you a little bit of a role on what you're best at, right?
That's cool.
Hmm?
Nice. And then
So
you
I
have
think that's most of what this does. This is the big signature stat you get, which is you get more skill power for being in this spec.
Nice.
Let's have a look at the pistol actually, just because pretty 3D models.
Yeah, I like it.
Actually, let's just have a look at this thing first. So here's the actual launcher. This is the back of it.
Oof.
Here's the front. It's
That's so
nice.
cool. I mean, actually, do it nice and slow because I'm sure a cosplayer out there is going to really appreciate it.
Oh yes.
You should really hand out the 3D models for these so cosplayers can use them, 3D print and do
That'd be
stuff.
cool.
That's really cool.
And then, as everybody, all the specs get, you also get a signature sidearm, which is this Maxim 9 with an integrated silencer on the front. I think it looks extremely nifty and kind of high tech.
That's
Looks
really
really
cool.
good.
Chat was also asking what the med kit does for the specialization.
Oh, right, yeah. I forgot. I think what it does, we went through a couple of iterations on it. Your armor kit also applies to all of the skills within a bunch of meters. So when you repair yourself, you also repair everybody's skills.
Cool.
That's very cool.
All right. That's our first look at a live work in progress build that people will get to experience next week. Very cool. Thanks for taking us through that, Frederick. Appreciate it. But I do want to go back to what you said before because we do have an example video of the, what was the thing you talked about before?
Well, there's some combat and there's the EMP grenade
The
in
EMP
there
grenade,
and some
yeah.
other
EMP
stuff.
grenade,
So let's...
All right, let's take a look at the next video. This may or may not have the EMP grenade in it, but I want to show as much footage as we can because
sure.
it's,
I mean,
all the
nobody's gotten to play with it, so it should be...
it's
fun
super
for
cool. All right, so let's roll that video.
If I could stop giggling.
There it is. No, we don't
Now
know
this-
which. Oh, no, this
is-
one's really cool.
Yeah, this is cool. This is more demonstrating the rocket launcher.
I don't think this is the EMP one though. We'll get to the EMP one next. But you'll for now get to see more cool, pretty explosions.
Unit 2, what's your status? Unit
What
2,
do you know what the
do you
range is on
copy?
this? Is it like max range?
Yeah, pretty much.
They weren't taking chances.
I mean, the missiles seek
You're
their
headed for a
targets,
small
but not
dam just north
perfectly.
of your position.
So they can dodge in behind cover and stuff like that. And particularly in PvP, you wouldn't want
PvP,
something
you can
that's...
still,
Yeah, you wouldn't want something that's absolute. It's not like a seeker mine. It
So you
kind of-
can dodge roll these things? Can you line of sight them? And,
Yeah,
okay.
because they have a max turn radius. They can't turn infinitely fast. So if you kind of dodge in their direction, generally would be the best kind of counterplay for them.
So you can Dark Souls these.
A little bit,
well,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna try it out.
or die.
Oh, no, okay. Well, that's
Like
Dark Souls. All right, cool. So the next clip we have actually does show the EMP grenade. I think.
Nope.
No, not this
No,
one.
no. This is kind of, I think this is a good example of, like, you have the rocket with 6 rockets and you can tag multiple enemies. This is not going to be the weapon that kind of clears heavies the best, because that's kind of the gunner and
Or the sharpshooter.
the
also.
sharpshooter, etc. So that's more single target. This is more about like cleaning the room, right?
I completely lied, by the way. I don't think we have that EMP clip.
All right, gotcha. That's
Well,
fine.
but trust us, it's cool.
But you've been exposed to EMP grenades from certain enemy
Sure, yeah.
archetypes at times. And I think it's just a nice thing to have in the toolkit because maybe you don't want to use the jammer pulse to counter enemy skills, and you want to be a bit more proactive. You can use the EMP grenades for that.
I like that.
Right. Buffing up the drone, kind of
Oh yeah.
sending it out to deal with the enemies. And it kind of makes you also maybe be a little bit more active if you, for instance, are running with a drone build, because you'll want to call it back so it can come back and fetch a new buff every once in a while, which you can do if you double tap the skill button, right?
Nice.
Because there's still a range when you have it on yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You can see it survived, but lost most of its armor. So it's not going to be. It's going to be great against red bars. It's going to be pretty good against elites and heavies and stuff like that. But it won't be the premier single target weapon. But mostly, nobody else can target things that are spread out all over a room like this thing can, and make a single attack against things on a wide flank. And that's really where it shines.
Is there an actual explosion AoE?
It does a normal explosion, but kind of
Yeah.
small. But yeah, if something's standing next to it, it's going to take damage.
So if it's
a
really
regular
packed, you
explosion.
can actually...
Yeah, and it will impact and explode onto walls or covers
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And if you're standing near that, you take damage. So it's not just like a shot. It's an actual explosion.
So it'll explode. Like if,
And
let's
you can
say-
spec into explosive damage to enhance it. Yeah.
Cool. I was going to say if it explodes near like an exploding thing, like a fire barrel or.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that
That'll
Same
set it
thing.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. All right. Good to know.
Cool.
There's also
Super excited about
another thing that's happened as it pertains to specializations. Apparently,
Yeah.
the gunner has had some changes to the special field research
Well,
part of that.
What happens is we make another field research for this. spec, and we learn. And the last one was kind of our first one, so now this one is a little bit tighter, a little bit shorter, and a little bit more focused on the things that thematically make sense. And so we kind of went back and revisited the Gunner one as well, tightened that up, and made that better and more exciting to play through.
Yeah.
Cool, makes sense. There's also a free weekend coming up.
Yes.
What do you know about that, Yannick?
So it's my turn. All right.
Yeah, I feel like you would know the most about this in the room.
Yeah, well, we have a free weekend, so it's on the 17th. Yes, I have to look the note to remember the dates. On the 17th, so the game will be available for free to everyone on all platforms, and that means that if you're watching, you're likely playing the game already, or you have the game. But if you have friends that want to try, if you want to invite people, if you want to show it to your friends or your grandmother or whoever you want. I'm sure a lot of grandmothers play
Send
this
it to
game.
my grandma.
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can play the game for free, and that's gonna be so from the 17th to the 21st. So good time to actually join.
Yeah. And I would assume, like usual, if someone does pick up the game and makes progress when they do buy it, they will
Yeah,
still
carries
they'll
over.
retain their progress.
Yeah, you
Right.
keep your progress.
Good to know. All right.
Yeah.
Can you stick around for a few minutes for agent highlights? We've got a
Absolutely.
couple this week.
Yes.
Wouldn't
Let's
miss it.
take one of the favorite things for our community to do at the moment is a very specific type of cosplay. And this week is no exception. Can we take a look at the... I don't know if this is the first or second one, actually, now that I think about it, but I know that there's a cosplay coming up. There it is.
Ooh.
Another hunter cosplay
Nice.
from Trisan and Nagisex.
That looks badass.
We should probably not do all caps for these things,
So,
but it is what it is.
So Splinter Shield has some competition now.
That's some competition.
Yeah. Competition or friends?
Oh.
Well, I don't think hunters are really friends with each
I don't
other.
know if you can talk about friends when it comes to hunters. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Do hunters hunt each other?
no. I feel like they all just hang out and they go to like
They have
There's
a
a
beer.
club
and,
for hunters.
they have like a meet and greet. You know.
Hot lore.
they compare their watches.
Yeah.
Just chill
How
out.
many did you get?
But this is very like what is it? Urukai realness with the.
Yeah, with the face paint.
Yes.
By a hand.
I like it. Oh, Lord of the Rings. I miss you. No, very, very cool. The next one we have, I don't actually have it on my list, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It's so cute. Super cute. I love it. So Grandier, AWD, over on Twitter, if you want to go and check out more cuteness. It's, yeah, I'm always scared things are going to explode when people shake them in comics, but super cute. If you do have more things to share, I will I'm just reading something right now. But if you do have things to share that you want to be shown on Agent Highlights, just hashtag Agent Highlights on Twitter, and we will be able to see that, and we will include it in the show. All right. So just so people know, episode 2/TU6 is coming on the 15th. If you own the season. The year one pass.
The year one
So I
pass.
don't mean to say season one pass. If you own the year one pass, you will have access to that from the 15th. If you do not own the year one pass, the episode 2 content will unlock for you on the 22nd. But all of the quality of life stuff, the balanced things that are included in 2.6 will be available for everyone on the 15th.
Including
Yes.
the field research.
Including
Yes.
the field research.
We did talk earlier about the raid. It's very much a situation of what's the TLDR on that, Yannick?
It's coming, just not with episode 2.
Cool. Good things take time
Yes.
and all of that.
Good things take time.
But as soon as we have more information on what is happening with the raid, we will share that with you. All right, thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Appreciate
It's
it.
been fun.
As it
Yes.
feels like old times when I have both of you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were saying like
been a long time.
It's been a very long time. It hasn't been the three of us.
And it's fun to get to show new hype stuff like
Yeah.
a multi-missile rocket launcher.
Yeah, the more explosions
Yeah.
you can bring to the show for
Come more
yeah,
often
happier
when
I
you
am.
have like some cool
I'll
weapons.
have
to show like
to
that.
invent a spec with even more explosions somehow.
Yes.
Oh, now I'm trying to think of what that could
Yeah.
be. All right, thank you everyone for coming by today. We're going to end the show as we do always with the Division 2 photos. If you have any photos you want to share with us, hashtag the Division 2 photos on Twitter. But enjoy that, and we'll see you again next week. I guess after the updates come out. Is it
Yes.
a
It would be,
Tuesday?
wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's on
All right.
Tuesday.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Bye.
on Tuesday, get in game and enjoy TU6/episode 2.
Yes.
Cool.
Damn, almost said episode 1, but episode 2. All right, see you again next week.
See you.
Bye.